Hello, this is just the beginning. I think I'm probably going to fast forward through everything except for my saying hello. And this is some purple I made up probably out of Chantilly lace. Color Arte affiliate, so that's a Prizm pour. And I want a little bit more. I'd actually like it to be a little bit lighter in color. So I'm just going to add whatever I've got handy, which in this case is the Magic Slippers Primary Element. I'm thinking about doing a landscape with a cloudy sky. I'm going to put a little bit of vivid intense white in there also. And if I had the bottle handy, I'd probably use some of that. But this is the real thing. It's not too... Hi, I'm back, and this is the next day, and my sky, whatever it is dry for all intents and purposes, but there's a little bit of canvas showing through and some marks I don't care for, so I'm thinking that I'm going to play with it, and I've got paper towels and water standing by if I don't like what happens, but I'm going to try and use some Frosted and a little bit of... I'm going to shake up my Midnight Shadow. If I don't like the way it mixes on the canvas, actually I'm going to put some deep amethyst with that as well. I might as well go for broke. Let's just do it all. Here's some Indigo Violet, because if I have a bunch of paint left over from it. And this is the wild card. This is Pink Carnation. I'll list the colors underneath the video. That might be insane. Let's put some Cosmos, which is a primary element. Let's put some Cosmos with it and hope that it's not plugged, and it was plugged, and I figured it out before I got in trouble. I did actually pull some pale pink, some Frosted out. So I'm just dabbing in the paint. I still think I'm probably going to put a cloud in, but it won't be at this stage. I'm never happy when I get stuff in my painting. Little bits and pieces of things. I am going to knock some of this red off over the side right now, because I can always add more of the same colors, and I can always do it. This is Black Raspberry. Whoa, that's whatever's mixed with Black Raspberry. Let's just do a quick wipe up. Evidently it's been a little while. There's some Black Raspberry. Here's some more Cosmos. I don't know why I closed them. I guess it's to keep them from drying out, but... kind of makes me wonder if I should use something like Floetrol. Oh, I can't flip my canvas all the way around. Because I left bottles in the way. But now that I've touched the wild orchid, I might want to use it. I'm still intending on putting a puddle of paint on the bottom that I thought I was going to apply by a shovel or something loaded with paint and then tip it across the canvas, but I have a whole new idea. And I think that I'm just going to use a bunch of frosted to make this paint behave the way I want it to. Which is probably just a heavier layer is better. Except for I keep scraping it down to canvas. You might want to come in from the other side. My work area is just not big enough for my ideas. It used to be when I was outside I had larger space. I didn't respect it enough, but I also don't care for bugs in my art, so I don't really have that many regrets. I'd just as soon not have spatula marks. But I still, like I told you, I'm still intending on putting a cloud in the sky. It may be a moot point by the time I get to that stage, if I really like what I've got. I'm just mixing in the light part. I'm going to play fast and loose with paint and use some of that carnation and mix it with the frosted berry. I don't mind having a bunch of paint right now. I just have to catch it before it dries. It becomes sticky. Sort of losing my background color, but I don't think I care that much. I was saying if you don't like the colors you've got, you can cover them over. This is pretty well proof. It'll be interesting to see how it dries. My Chantilly lace almost disappeared on a painting I made recently. But then it is pretty much all about the sparkle and not meant to be covering. I'm really not hating what I've got. So much so that I'm really thinking I'm probably going to skip the cloud, but we'll wait until we get there to decide. I think I'm just going to keep adding paint. I want a little more midnight shadow. I'm not sure if it's a good idea or not. Boy, it's a whole lot more blue than I remembered. Which reminds me, I've actually got some black iris. That's the indigo violet. I need to embrace my accidental art. Not that much. Alright, I can tell I'm treading on dangerous ground, but I can also tell you that I like what I see. Except for that lump there. It needs to go. It's a little frustrating trying to rotate a 12 by 24. pretty sure I just fast forwarded through the beginning stage of this, which is okay. Looking for anything that I really need to get rid of. Not going to worry about my edges. I figure if somebody likes this enough, they can always frame it. I just don't want any drips. I'm not working down further because I expect that to be land. I am going to take a little bit of the Frosted and a very little bit of the Midnight Shadow, like so. Maybe a little more of the black raspberry, because I see I've got a little bit of canvas right up here. That I might want to cover. Oh, I picked up some of that carnation. I do like to scrape off my spatula and use the accumulated paint. This might be a good one for the moon I've got hanging around, a crescent moon just waiting. I wish I'd just loosen up my style at some point in time so I can embrace the mark making aspect of the spatula. I think I got rid of all of my bits of canvas around the edge. And I like my sky, so I'm probably going to walk away and come back when it's a little more dry. I was going to do the bottom, but I'd really rather be able to hold on to the top. I see that thing that does not belong. And that mark in my sky that does not belong. Alright, I like it. That means I'm done for right now. I'll be back in a second. Again, this is Priscilla Batzell in Spring Hill, Florida at Expressionist Fluid Art Studio, and that is a dish that I have put my sample colors into, and there's quite a few of them, and I think I'm going to use them on the bottom half of my 12 by 24 inch canvas, which is right here and dry from yesterday. And that was weird. I introduced myself. I didn't need to do that. Maybe I'll just take that off. In any case, I think I'm going to use something that flows easily, which is some old Deco Art Americana 24 karat gold. Because I don't mind if it shows through. And I still have quite a bit of it. And I'm going to put some mead and black in the center. And those are just things I'm going to float colors on. I have some chestnut brown primary element. Helps if I open the top. I'm going to use up some of this Frosted that has magenta, vivid, intense, ultramarine blue, and dioxazine violet in it. Just because I can keep adding colors as I go. This is an indigo violet. This is a vivid, intense Aztec bronze. don't want anything to be too even, but I shouldn't worry about it yet anyway. This is a black iris. That's a Prizm pour. This is a little bit of Midnight Shadow. Maybe more than a little bit. This is some Peacock. Those are both Prizm pours. I need to have enough paint, so I'm going to use some black raspberry. I need to have enough paint in this puddle of paint to flow. I want a lot of silver, but I want this Fandango. And I thought about using some wintergreen, and I'm still not done thinking about it yet. And wintergreen, where are you? Okay, we'll try a little bit of wintergreen. Yes, I like that. I haven't used any blue other than the Midnight Shadow, and I'm thinking about it. This is my True Silver, and I like that. Now, I might want these out of the way. They really are in the way. Come on, move. Like at least one row. Now, I also remember that if I put a layer of paint on one side or the other, it helps me flow the paint I've got. And I've got a couple of short edge catchers. I'm going to flow that up and over. And down again. If I need more paint, I'll put more paint in there. I need to come up farther. And then back over again. I might have used too many colors, but I think I'm okay. Ready with my edge catcher. I see a couple bubbles. Hopefully they're just bubbles. I should have put more of the black in like I was thinking about. So I know that I can let that roll right down. Especially if I squeeze it a little bit. And then I let it go right back over again, which is usually a nice texture maker. But I am going to look for my black, my medium black in fact, which obviously it's time to mix some more, and it's plugged. Come on, you're not being helpful. Little tiny, tiny, tiny stream. Like whatever's in there. I got it. It made a mess, but I got it out. Oh, I've got some pretty cells happening over here. I think I'm going to let all of this go down for a second, if it will. Hopefully without dripping off yet. But the good news about the edge catcher is that I can scrape off whatever I get on there and use it back in the painting. Let that go down again. Maybe I'll just use whatever I get on the edge catcher. I kind of want it to go back over again. Let all of that paint flow off, because I'm not sure that's making me happy. And it is flowing, so that's good. I will require an oxo omelet turning flip and fold spatula, I think. There, we have just about gotten rid of it. I'm going to squeeze, lift it. Oh, that's heavy. Take that paint out of the way. Bring it, find my spatula. Turn it around so that I have the colors and the configuration that I want in the direction I want it. I picked up a paint chip, but that's okay because I got rid of it. Yay. Now how do I get that? Oh, I've got the paint in my dish. I can use that. Perfect. It's rid of those little, I used some pink carnation in there. Now I've got some paint on my spatula I can use on the bottom. Some paint dripping off the bottom I can use back in the painting. And my nose has begun to run because I'm painting, and I'm sorry about that. That's what happens. Let's turn this around. See if I want to tip one more time. Grab a small spatula. Take the paint right off my spatula, my big spatula, and put it in the gaps. This may be a stage. I think I'm still thinking about adding trees. I see that I've got stuff up here I might want to change by adding some more paint, and I've got just enough paint. Move over. Salvageable paint. Make an interesting edge. The Black Hills. Looks like I might have a little something I need to cover on my side. I think I'm going to use as much of this as I'm inclined to. Still thinking about using, the edge catcher again to tip over that way, but I kind of like the texture of what I've got. And I know it's heavy on this side, so I'm going to tip it. Let it swallow some of the other, because it makes a nice change. And there's nothing to keep me from pulling a little paint or stealing a little paint. Or adding some texture, sharing the colors around. Kind of want to do this. Move that right up in there. Scrape off my spatula so I have something to cover my edge with. Now I've got balloons. If I want a balloon roll, I definitely need to torch because I can see there's... So I just want to change up the patterns in here a little bit. And maybe make some odd shapes instead of the straight background. Just to change normal into something a little different. And to see what colors I might dredge up also. I definitely am almost ready to oh, I like that. I'm deluding myself into thinking I'm adjusting my bubbles. I like to wind things around. I think that's pretty cool, actually. Can make it go as high as I want. I'm thinking about putting a moon in the sky. I'm also thinking about grabbing my little glove, my fingertip, to fill in those little spots. I like it when I get a little gold. It looks like a highlight. This is better for fine detail work. And easier to steal a small amount of paint too. I could probably put my trees in with that. I am going to hit it really quick with a torch now. The edges are covered. I'm not 100% sure on that. So I think I'm going to just steal a little paint. Change it up just a little bit by bouncing my spatula into it. And I'll use my residuals right there. Alright, I'm not sure you can see all of that, but let me grab my torch and stop the camera after that, and I will think about what's next, which is probably just going to be a cloud or a moon. Although, now that I'm looking at it, what did I see? Ha! Just got to go with the flow. Literally, you have to like allow the inspiration you get in the moment to dictate your next move. Sometimes, at least in my case. I'm throwing that balloon in the bucket and I'm going to wash it as soon as I can because I like to reuse them. And I will be thinking about what I'm going to do for my cloud. I'll see you in a minute. Hello again. This is dry now. And this, I'm going to try and zoom in on, is a digital version of what I want to do. And if you can see in there, right in the center, there's a little sliver of a gold moon. There's a big pink cloud, and there's a bunch of little trees. So, I'm going to zoom out again, put my phone aside. We're going to mix some colors. Actually, we're going to mix some colors right here. I've got a cover for my dish, and I'm going to start with some frosted berry. I don't know how much paint I actually need for my cloud, so I'm going to give myself too much. This is some Chantilly lace. Both of those are Prizm pours. I think the real star of the show is going to be the Vivid Intense Fluorescent Red Violet. But I think I'm going to buffer it with some Plum Blossom, which is a primary element, which used to be one of my all-time favorite colors and still is. I also have a little bit of Frosted, which is a Prizm pour with Vivid Intense Magenta, Ultramarine Blue, and Dioxazine Violet in it. And I don't see any reason why I shouldn't. That's perfect. Ha! That's actually a color I really want. Here's the Red Violet. And my plan is, strangely enough, going to be to use a balloon to cover the area I want to cover. And I'm going to leave that right on the canvas. Now, I think I'm going to, I kind of want to mix it up with the balloon a little bit. And I'm going all the way up here. And I don't mind if there's a thin quantity, but I want to get the balloon in place before it starts to dry. So I'm just trusting myself to roll that around. Try not to drip. Could take a minute. Could take more than a minute. You gotta look for things in there that don't belong, because they're always there. As long as you're using bottles, you're gonna have threads and tip issues. But it's so worth it for me, because I really don't like to have to mix a single color at a time right before I use it every time. Now I could bring a spatula in. I might want some more of that red violet. And I hope this works. It worked in the picture. I don't know how well it's going to work in person. Because the paint I'm using is pretty see-through. I am going to put more red violet in there. And I'm probably going to use the finger for my glove. That was a paint chip. I'm going to use some of that down here, some of that over there. Keep on moving. Now I do have some pretty hard lines in the sky behind, so it's going to be helpful, I think, if I put some trees in there. I'm trying to pay attention as I go. I'm not sure I'm in love with this yet. I'm working on it. I want a little pink. And I pulled out some Passion, which is a primary element. I'm willing to mix that in. Steal it for the horizon. Sort of trying to, it's a learning curve. I'm trying to teach myself how to do clouds, and it's the experimenting all at the same time. It's a little unnerving. So I'm going to keep grabbing whatever I need. I need something a little less sheer for that. Come out. I'm trying to do things left-handed now. Now that's I kind of want the moon in the middle, so I guess I'm not going to worry too much about it yet. I'll do my trees before I even bother trying to put my moon in. And then when I did this, I thought it would be okay if things showed through, but I'm not sure I feel that way anymore. I'm not in love with my balloon prowess yet either. That does not belong. I like to delude myself that I can always come back and do some more. I think it would be really convenient if it would calm itself down, but there's no Floetrol in it to level it out. And I guess we'll find out together if I can camouflage some of the other stuff that I want to disappear, or dissipate is better wording. I'm not sure if I like it sort of. I should probably not go back in, because I'm pretty sure I'll be pulling up paint. almost have it to the place that I liked it in a sketch, which I'm amazed is staying on my phone. Kind of happy about that, actually. And I had a certain shape left behind the trees that I liked in the sky, and I kind of like to repeat that. I'm still going to have to mix up those colors for those trees. It's already a 4-stage process, so it's pretty intimidating, honestly. And I don't want to ruin it, so I shouldn't be too nervous, and I should just take my time. And it was kind of brazen of me to make such hard lines in the background. Part of me wants to put my spatula in there really badly. I just keep picking up more paint from my dish to mix with, what did I say, it was Passion Primary Element. Well, I've got my balloon and I've got a spatula, so I kind of need to find out. I'm going to put some paint right on my maybe the combination will work. Kind of like that. There's a few marks. And the marks are good because they're going to look like dimension and the cloud. But some things, where's my, alright, why have I hidden my tweezers on myself? They were right here a minute ago. There they are. Good. That I would not have seen if I had not used the spatula. And I'm wondering if maybe I can go back in with the balloon like I was saying. I don't mind the texture. I don't want any hard lines there, so I have to drop my spatula onto the canvas very cautiously. Alright, I've got more paint and I'm inclined to use it. Because I can. Let's grab, whoop, I rested my balloon right in the paint. Clever girl. The Chantilly lace dries so clear that it's not, it looks white when I put it down, but it's really not going to seem that way when we deal with the dry version. Oh, you can tell I'm nervous because I just... Alright, so I need to sort of pull my balloon. Pull and waggle. I don't know if they're kisses. They're not kisses. They're definitely more rolls than anything. It's a lot unnerving though. I'm trying to keep my head out of the camera. I've rehung my piece of tape with a marble attached because somebody complained that my head was in the way for today's video. I had taken it off because everybody kept going like, what's that green thing? Well, it's frog tape. Alright, I've got enough paint left in my dish. Go right down my edge and blend that, and that is good enough. I take it right off my spatula. Wow, I didn't misjudge the amount of paint I needed. I really got it pretty darn close. I want to be able to be better at texture. I need a nice smooth spot for my moon, and then I need to be able to use the same colors on top to blend it in again. got that hard line under there. I'm afraid it's going to show. And I really don't want to put trees all the way up in the sky that high. Alright. I don't think I can save much of any of that paint, to tell you the truth, but I'm going to scrape off my balloon. Rinse it briefly in my bucket. Take that little piece of card that I threw around here somewhere. There it is. Put it over the paint pan in case I can still get something out of there. I'm really tempted to try and put my moon in, but it's probably a bad idea right now. I want to use this little silicone cup and put my moon in by dipping it. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but I think I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to put a ring around and then I'm going to dab it off. Ring around twice, just in case I don't keep everything. I'm going to clean off the ends so I don't have a fat end. Try not to have a fat end. Alright, that's not that bad. I do need that balloon back, but I have a little one. Not sure what to do with that. I'm not even sure if it was a good idea or not. That is a paintball that is too big. Well, I suppose I can always widen it up later. Not sure how I'm going to do that. Maybe I should do it one more time. Probably not. I'm not even sure I can get that in the right place again. Alright, I'm going to have to bring in a spatula because I've left a mark on the canvas in the clouds that I cannot abide. It is what it is, and I don't mind it, which is a good thing. Now, I'm inclined to just put this away for a minute. I don't think any of that paint is going anywhere, and I'm going to risk my little pan of colors. Throw my Indian spice. I don't know if I ever said that or not. It's a Prizm pour. I'm not going to close the top up on that. Fandango. Both are Prizm pours. I thought I was going to skip the Royal Sapphire, but I'm not. I've got 3 minutes before my timer tells me I'm down to my last minute. That is Indigo Violet, another Prizm pour. Wintergreen, another Prizm pour. Royal Sapphire. We'll see. I have Wild Orchid, so I'm going to use it. Those are colors I like. And what did I do with my little finger? My little glove. Now it's time to bring the painting back. I'm looking at that thinking to myself, if I don't do something right now, I'm going to lose my opportunity. So I'm going to grab a small dish, a very small dish, squeeze out a small amount of paint. I could put a face in it. And I'm sorry about my head. I'll try and move to the side. Trying not to disturb the layer of purple below. Just attempting to even out or fatten up and even out by barely breezing the surface of that painting, of that moon. I don't even know how I'm brave enough to do this, to tell you the truth. But I am going to try. I'm making a small adjustment. I guess I've got a face whether I like it or not. I'm always nervous about getting my hand stuck in the painting. I think that'll do for now. And I'll leave that right under that cup just in case. And we're gonna, oh yeah, we're gonna dab off some stuff. Now, strangely enough, my first tree is right down at the bottom. Actually, I'm gonna go for the one in the middle. Barely going to show. It's up in that blue stuff. All right, I'm not taking any chances. I'll be back in a second. Okay, I noticed that the green tape was showing, so I've tried to move it out of the view. And I think I'm going to move that toward the back. Try and get my picture on my phone back again. I guess I changed my mind. I'm just going to go up at the top. If I put the small trees in first, then the big ones won't matter so much. I'm just mixing the colors. I need something lighter in that one particularly. There we go. I can always use my skewer to go back in and add a little bit more paint. Like in some miscellaneous branches. Wow, they're looking like quite different than the ones in the painting. Makes me think I can get away with adding some larger trees there. Which is not something I usually do, but it's kind of a good thing. I've kind of wanted to for a long time. And I sure don't need all that I've created. Now, I'm not sure what I'm going to use for trunks, but I have some Aztec bronze somewhere here that I did not get out. The gold will work too. There's the Aztec bronze. It's a Vivid Intense. And I'm going to use a skewer for that, and I'm going to try and make sure it's a fairly new, or with a very small paintball on it. Not sure I love that. Giving them a little bit of a windblown look by leaning them. And a few branches. I got paint on my finger. I don't want that on there. That should be probably thinner than it is. I like the little bend in the trunk. I'm definitely thinking about going back in and adding some more little blobs to make the shapes of the trees more interesting. Did I miss one? Yes, I missed one. Now I have a tree right in the center, I think, right here, but it needs to have a larger, yeah, I've got another balloon. I've got a medium-sized balloon, good for me. So I think I'm going to play by putting the trunk in first, and that is, the painting seems to have changed a little bit since I must have tipped it or something. Let's put that right there. If you have little scars, you can tap whatever you're using. Back into the scar. Let's see if I can get a decent balloon roll and use my larger. I want some more wintergreen, I think. I can always fill in branches afterwards. I can also add colors that mute the colors I just put down, because they're looking pretty obnoxious actually. I thought I would get less bright green. I don't know why. Even though I tend to judge things fairly harshly at the time, the truth is that nature is pretty funky. So they'll probably look way more realistic than I imagine. I'm inclined to put a little bit of moonlight on them, but I'm hoping that that moon looks somewhat more natural than it does to my critical eye right now. I still need to put some clouds across it, I think. And I'm going to use put a little more, put a few more branches in. I forgot I still have a tree I want to put down at the bottom. I'm not sure it's a great idea, but I'm going to do it anyway. Where to? Here's my other balloon. The one I threw in the bucket's the one I want. Fortunately, I have a rag handy. As long as I don't pop it, I can probably still use it. Although I do want some more Fandango. Kind of want some more of everything, actually. Because it doesn't look like the other ones. That's not the color I want. I want a little bit of indigo violet. Excuse my nose from, excuse my sniffing. The paint makes my nose run. All right, now grab my skewer. There's my little tree at the bottom. Hopefully it's a little less gummy than I'm feeling like it is. I think it's okay. I can always, you know what, I can definitely use a little more Fandango and the large end of my skewer. To add some pretend leaves in the foreground. And tomorrow, if I didn't like what I had, I could probably improve upon it, but I think this is it for now. But I like what I did with the Fandango, so I'm going to add a few dots. Up in my trees. I'd like to make sure I don't have any more. I think I had a couple more trees over there, to tell you the truth. Yeah, I did. At least one. So what can I use to do that? I need something to scrape up that paint. And that just disappeared, so I'm going to put that right. What is that? That is something that does not belong. That is something that is fresh and does not belong. Must be the place that my tree is going to go. Oh, and I wound up with a dot of paint. Which is okay, because I'll just use that. And I want a couple more trees up there anyway. Off in the distance is fine. Right along the horizon line. Kind of like that. I still have enough Aztec bronze. Alright, that's going to have to be it. We don't know what it's going to look like until it's dry. It'll be dry in the thumbnail, I'm pretty sure. I can manage to hold off. I'm not sure about that right there. And what did I do with my balloon? I still have it, but now it's green. I kind of want to grab some white. That's the Vivid Intense White. And that is the Frosted. And I'm hoping that I can get this balloon mostly dry. Although, I'm sure there's another one kicking around here. I found a dry one. Cool. And I have paint left in that dish, which I'm going to pick up right now along with this. There's what I've got left. Okay, I'm going to throw some Chantilly lace in there. I hope I didn't muff it all up. Looks like I might be coming back to do some stuff tomorrow. I kind of need something that's like Floetrol. I'll just take my chances. That was more Plum Blossom, was it? No, that was the Frosted. I'm kind of really liking the white, but I know for a fact that I'm going to need more than I've got to make it work on an almost dry background. And it is almost dry, so I'm using plenty of the purple. And I think I'm going to do it again. And I do want to excuse myself from sniffing. I'm going to use up what I've got right here before I do anything else. Kind of glad that happened, actually. Unless I get too sticky, which could be a problem. Alright, I think I'm very close to calling it good. I'm not saying I've got this down by any stretch, but I don't hate what I've got. And I like the sheerness of the colors, even though I wasn't sure I would. I do have a little weird texture, but that's life. Alright, I love you guys. I hope you come again. I post once a day. Not sure if it's 10:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or 3:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but it's once a day. And you can find out by going to my community board. Please give me a thumbs up if you wouldn't mind. I would really appreciate that. That would make me happy. And when you watch the videos longer, you help my standing on YouTube. Your comments help my standing on YouTube, and they also boost my morale. I don't know what that is, but it needs to go away. I got it. I think I'm going to try for that thing too, whatever it is. I hope I don't need to balloon roll anymore to get rid of anything, but I've got a few little crumbs that I'm not happy with, but I'm going to have to learn to live with them, I think. Alright, the overall effect of that is pretty cool. I see a big swash right through the moon. I think I have to change that. So I will tell you guys, I will see you anon. Check my link tree. Come on out. It's helpful if you don't close it. Gosh, I'm nervous. That's too much white. I throw my 2 other balloons in the bucket. Alright, that's a little bit better. Gonna have to love the texture. You guys take care of each other, take care of yourselves. I asked for thumbs up. Please give me thumbs up. My email address is easpb and the word gallery spelled out at gmail.com. Thank you for joining me. I hope you come again. Thank you for the donations through PayPal. They help keep me buying art supplies and keep bringing you tutorials. My Amazon link is on the link tree. I have 2 books there, Because I Can and Unlimited Possibilities, the first and the second 100 videos I made for YouTube. Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter links are also on the link tree, along with a couple of my websites. I do sell my artwork and I give lessons at the house in Spring Hill, Florida. And this looks so much better away. I gotta tell you guys I love you. You inspire me always. When you share my videos, you help me out. Whatever I've forgotten is that I have 31 playlists with 100 videos each on them. And they're also organized by topic and genre. So if you like what you see, please ask and I'll help you to find something that you're looking for. Questions are welcome and encouraged. And I love you guys. I think I said that, but I'll say it lots of times because you keep me here. I appreciate that. Bye for now. Priscilla out.